Namaste. Welcome to the second year Bachelor of Performing Arts course in Kathak. Congratulations on having successfully completed the foundation course in Kathak. You did so well in the stage demonstration and you were so attentive in the practical as well as the theoretical classes. Today, we begin with paper 1 of the second year course. This is a theoretical paper and it is in 2 parts. The first part deals with the fundamental technique of Kathak and the second part with the historical background. You have already learnt about the basics of the technique of Kathak, and what we will discuss today is partly known to you. But we will compare the technique of Kathak with the Natya Shastra, as the syllabus tells us to. Well, before we begin, let me ask you a few questions. What is the generic term for dance used in the Natya Shastra?
Nartan.
Right, Nartan. And remember, we had discussed that Nartan is divided into 3 categories. The first type of dance is where we have abstract movements, movements which are there for their own beauty, and these movements do not convey any particular idea or story. Now this type of dance is called?
Nritya.
Right, Nritya. Then the second type was expressive dance, in which moods and sentiments are conveyed. This is called?
Nritya.
Right, Nritya. Nritya is the style of dance in which we have expressive moods and sentiments, different ideas and feelings are conveyed. Then the third category was
Natya.
Natya. Natya is dramatic dance in which there is a story, a plot, different characters, and we have a dramatic enactment. You had learnt all 3 types in the foundation course. Your Tehai, Tatkar, Amad, Toda, Tukra, Paran all came in the category of Nritya or abstract dance. Then the shloka that you learnt was in the category of expressive dance or Nritya. Your Gat Bhava was in the category of Natya or dramatic dance, because there were different characters, a story, and the story was progressing in time. The Natya Shastra describes these 3 forms of dance in great detail. Now, all our classical dance forms finally compare their presentations with the Natya Shastra. You might ask why. The reason is that the Natya Shastra is an exhaustive treatise on dance and drama, and it is perhaps our oldest treatise on the subject. I use the word perhaps because we do not know exactly when the Natya Shastra was written. But from the style of the composition, we can more or less guess that it was written sometime during the 2nd century BC to the 2nd century AD, sometime during these 400 years. The Natya Shastra describes Nritya and Natya in great detail. And all the classical dance forms today use the verses from the Natya Shastra and compare it with their own dance styles and try to bring about a sort of synthesis of their styles and the ancient treatise. In this lesson, we will also learn about bhavas and rasas. You had learnt about bhavas and rasas while learning the Nritya and Natya items in the foundation course. Now, what is bhava? Bhava is a certain feeling, and rasa is a sentiment, a mood that is created. In the Natya Shastra, we have references to 8 rasas. Let us hear the beautiful shloka enumerating the 8 rasas.
Shringaara Haasya Karuna Raudra Veera Bhayaanaka Adbhuta Sangyo Chetyashto Natya Rasa Smrita.
So Bharat tells us that the Natya rasas are 8 in number. Generally nowadays we say that there are 9 rasas. Now I will come to the question about the 9th rasa later on. The 8 Natya rasas are Shringaara, or the erotic, in which we have a feeling of romance, slight eroticism, in which the feeling of love is there, love towards one's beloved. And this rasa is a very beautiful rasa. The next is Haasya. This deals with laughter, when there is something that is comic, and so we all laugh at it. Karuna is when we feel compassion. Then Raudra is when we are angry. Veera is the heroic mood. Then Bhayaanaka, when we are frightened. Bibhatsa, a feeling of disgust. And Adbhuta is the feeling of wonder. Let us hear the shloka again, and let us try to express the various moods. Now, I will give you a hint. Shringaara is when you're trying to sort of entice your lover, or when you're sort of in the mood of romance. Haasya, when you are laughing at someone or something. Karuna, when you're sorry for someone, you're feeling compassion. Raudra, when you're very angry. Veer, the heroic sentiment. Bhayaanaka, when you're frightened. Bibhatsa, disgust, horrible. You see something that's horrible. Adbhuta, wonder. you are amazed. So each one in your own style try to express the 8 moods. Let us hear the shloka once more.
Shringaara Haasya Karuna Raudra Veera Bhayaanaka Bibhatsad Adbhuta Chetyashto Natya Rasa Smrita.
The Natya Shastra tells us that these are the 8 Natya Rasas, or the 8 dramatic moods. Now, there is a lot of controversy regarding why only 8 moods are referred to, because there is a 9th mood, the mood of tranquility, or the Shanta Rasa. Now, it is not clearly stated as to who experiences the moods, whether it is the performer or the audience. Now, if we think of the dramatic mood and if we think of the audience, now the audience experiences various moods while seeing a dramatic or a dance enactment. So when the audience sees something which is erotic, they feel romance or eroticism within themselves. When they see something comic, they laugh. Again, when they see something that is full of sorrow, they feel compassion. Now, if the audience were to experience a dramatic or a dance enactment and feel nothing and just feel tranquil, then how would the drama be effective? I mean, if you don't have any reaction and if you're just tranquil, then that cannot be called a dramatic mood. Sometimes certain artists and scholars interpret the rasas as that which is experienced by the artist. Now, I don't quite conform to this idea, and in fact, not only I myself, but many scholars do not agree with it. Because then why is the 9th mood left out? Because in a dramatic enactment, the artist does sometimes experience or rather portray the mood of tranquility. Rather, we say that the artist portrays bhavas, and these bhavas are carried across to the minds of the audience, and the audience experiences the rasas. And so the reference to the 8 rasas becomes relevant. Some people say that at that time the 9th rasa was not discovered. Now that can't be. But it is not a dramatic rasa because it does not emanate from the experience of a drama or a dance presentation. Now, the bhavas. If we have 8 rasas, we must also have 8 bhavas, and these bhavas will give rise to the 8 rasas within the audience. Let us hear the shloka describing the 8 bhavas.
Ratirhasascha shokascha krodhotsaho bhayam tatha jugupsa vismayascheti स्थायि भावा prakirtita.
So these are the 8 sthai bhavas. These moods give rise to the rasas or the sentiments. The first is rati, eroticism or romanticism, and this gives rise to Shringaara. When you see a beautiful woman looking at you with loving or erotic eyes, then naturally you feel the ras of Shringaara within you. So rati gives rise to Shringaara. Then something that is funny or comic, Haasya, that gives rise to laughter or Haasya Rasa. Then shoka, sorrow, gives rise to Karuna. Then krodh, when you're angry, then you have, or rather you experience Raudra Rasa. When you see someone who's very angry and something that makes you angry, then from krodh comes Raudra Rasa. Then Veera Rasa emanates from utsaha. When you're full of energy, when you're out to do something, when you're out to win a war, then you have Veera Rasa. When you're frightened, when there is bhaya, so from the bhaya bhava, we have the Bhayaanaka Rasa. Then jugupsa, when you are disgusted with something, then you have bibhatsa rasa, or the feeling of disgust. Then vismaya, when you're full of wonder, when you see something that is wondrous, then you experience Adbhuta Rasa. So from these 8 bhavas, we have the 8 rasas. The bhavas, when experienced by the audience, within them are created the 8 rasas. The bhavas have a cause, like when you see something that is not right, but in a funny way, then you have the Haasya Rasa. Now, when there is this sort of inconsistency, we call it vibhav, or the cause of the bhava. When you see a beautiful woman adorning herself, and this adorning makes you feel the sentiment, or rather you experience rati within yourself. So this adorning of the woman is the cause of the bhav. So that is the vibhav. Vibhav is the cause of the bhava, and each bhava has a cause. Then the expression of this bhava, how it is portrayed, like when you are portraying rati, your eyes are, they have a smile, or rather a tint of a smile. Even your eyes can smile in a way. Then your lips are slightly parted. You're smiling, not laughing. Then there is a feeling of beauty in your face. So this is the anubhav. When you're laughing, your eyes are either sort of made smaller or larger. Then your cheek, your nose, your lips are all vibrating. So that is the anubhava. So bhav, the cause of which is vibhav, the expression of which is through anubhav. Then you have vyabhichari bhav, which actually deals with the various types within a bhav, the various expressions of a bhav, because you cannot just stay at one sthai bhav or one constant bhav. So all these will be dealt with at greater length this year, but remember, you have bhava from vibhava expressed through anubhava, and you have portrayals of various types of bhava. These are in the Vyabhichari bhava and the Sanchari bhava. And this bhava carried across through abhinaya gives rise to rasa. So you have 8 dramatic rasas or Natya rasas which you have learned. Now abhinaya. We learnt about abhinaya in the foundation course when we were doing the practical training in the abhinaya items. Abhinaya, I had told you, literally means communication. Ninayati abhi. I am carrying across something to you, to the audience. And we had learned that there are 4 methods in which ideas and feelings can be carried across. The first was through the use of our body and the parts thereof. So what is this abhinaya called? Angik abhinaya, right, where the anga is used. Then we had also learned that sentiments, feelings can all be carried across through words. Words either in the form of plain words or a poem or a song. What is this abhinaya called? Right, vachik, from vachan. Then we had another type in which we were using costumes and sets to carry across ideas. This is called Aharya abhinaya, in which the communication is not directly through our own body or our own words, but in which outside elements are used. We wear certain costumes or certain ornaments, or we bring in certain different things for decoration. So, Aharya abhinaya. And then finally, what is the 4th? Sattvic abhinaya, in which the sattva or the mind and the states thereof are used. So unless you actually feel from within, unless the energy actually evolves from within you, you cannot express sattvic abhinaya. Now, the bhavas and the rasas all fall within the sattvic abhinaya. This year, we will also learn about the dharmis. There are 2 major dharmis, lokadharmi abhinaya and natya dharmi abhinaya. Lokadharmi means that which has emanated from people. In this type of abhinaya, natural actions, natural words are portrayed through dance and drama. But in Natya Dharmi, we have stylized action, stylized words. Now, you might ask, what is the difference? I mean, why the difference used at all? Lokadharmi is something that you recognize very easily, which is taken from normal actions of people. But in Natya Dharmi, these actions are stylized through particular movements, through particular gestures, and also through a certain use of verses. Now, these are recognized, but they are a little removed from our ordinary actions. They are consciously and artistically made a little more ornate and beautiful. Then you have 4 vrittis. These are the Bharati vritti, Satvaki vritti, Kaishiki vritti and Arabhati vritti. In Bharati, generally words are given more importance, and Satvati, the form of energy within us. In Kaishiki, Kaishiki is a very beautiful vritti in which you have beautiful sentiments, which love is portrayed, and Arabhati vritti is a rather lower type of vritti in which cunning comes in, magic comes in, and it is not something which, like Bharati or Satvaki, is more heroic or more, what should I say, which is something that is more reliable. Again, in learning about Abhinaya, we have to learn about Nayak and Nayika and different types of Nayak and Nayika. Nayak is the hero, Nayika the heroine. Now basically the hero and the heroine can be categorized according to their own intrinsic nature, whether they are the quiet type or whether they are full of energy or whether they are always trying to express their moods in a sort of very loud manner, overacting. So we have the Uttam, Madhyam and Adham, and this applies to both the hero and the heroine. There are two types. Then again, they can be differentiated in their state of love and their relationship to their partner, like the hero in relationship to the heroine and the heroine in relationship to the hero. All these you will learn in the course of this year, and I'm sure you will enjoy portraying the various heroes and the heroines. You already know how to portray a few heroes and heroines, but you will learn more about them so that when you're actually composing or dancing items, you can easily refer to a certain heroine. I'm sure you will enjoy this year's lessons as much as you enjoyed the lessons of the foundation year course. In fact, this year you will learn the theoretical and practical aspects of Kathak in greater detail and emerge into wonderful, knowledgeable and talented artists. I wish you all the best, and I do look forward to meeting you in the next class, in which we will continue with the fundamental techniques of Kathak. Namaste. Namaste.